the EU are using Brexit to fast-track the superstate plan they had all along. This is how the globalists work. Rahm Emanuel, the former chief of staff to Obama, said, "You never let a serious crisis go to waste." And what I mean by that is it's an opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. And David Rockefeller said, "We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis and the nations will accept the new world order." Friends, what we may consider to be a disaster for the globalist elite is an opportunity. Crises are one of the most successful means for inducing a change of mind within large numbers of people. Crises, in short, are the means by which minds are controlled. It's a strategy, friends, known as the Hegelian dialectic, of which Karl Marx made use of. The Hegelian dialectic creates a series of circumstances which guide our thoughts and actions towards a predetermined solution. In simple terms, the Hegelian dialectic brings about change in 3 simple steps: problem, reaction, solution. Step 1. Manufacture or exploit a problem, in this instance, Brexit. Step 2. Evoke the required reaction, fear, panic, anxiety. Step 3. Offer a solution. In the case of Brexit, create a fully European federal government. Now, under any other scenario, the solution would have been flatly opposed by the people. But now, as a result of the crisis, the people cry out for the very solution they would have opposed, which in turn is the solution that the globalists wanted and planned all along. The people now feel free from fear, but are actually enslaved more than ever before to the government. Now, the Hegelian dialectic is effective because it creates the illusion that the people are in control of their own destinies and that democracy is alive and well. It keeps the people in the dark as to what is truly going on. It also creates a certain dependency upon the government, and the people look to it as though it is their only hope, when the exact opposite, friends, is true. So now, during the Brexit crisis, Martin Schulz, the EU Parliament President, is calling for a federal government of the EU. Schulz is suggesting even closer ties by having an elected government, much like the model used in the United States of America. He said it was time for a genuine European government to replace the unelected European Commission. That way, dissatisfied EU citizens could replace one European government with another through elections, Schulz said. Now, for a long time, Europhiles have been calling for a directly elected president. The plan back in 2012 had the backing of Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Poland, Holland, Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Luxembourg and Portugal. Now, both foreign ministers of Germany and Poland called for a single EU president, saying it needs a directly elected president who personally appoints the members of the European government. And Tony Blair also endorsed this idea in 2012, saying a Europe-wide election for the presidency of the Commission or Council is the most direct way to involve the public. At the time, of course, Blair himself was hoping to fulfil the very role he was suggesting. But this, friends, sets a dangerous new model for the European Union. If they decide to make these changes, then Europe will become a fully fledged superstate. Their plan for full integration will be complete. And by creating a role for a directly elected president could also open the door and pave the way for the coming of the man of sin, the Antichrist, as prophesied long ago. Now, furthermore, the EU's long-awaited plans for an EU army are now unfolding. But the question has to be asked, what do they want with an EU army when NATO already plays its role in European defence? Now, Lord Christopher Monckton, who has led a tireless campaign to expose the rise of the EU dictatorship, said in an interview last week, what we have now is a gallop towards a full-on dictatorship. Here we have a proposal, again from the left in the EU, this time to bring forward the proposal for a so-called EU army, by which they make all the armies of the EU member states into one army commanded by the unelected commissars. You won't hear a word of criticism of this on the BBC. Now, Monckton then explained the roles the EU army and NATO would have if the proposal went ahead. The danger with the European army proposal is that there is no court to whom anyone in Europe can appeal if their governing class decides to go down this route, he said. This is an internal army designed to suppress the will of the people and keep them cowering in fear and to kick down the door, just like the KGB, if the people disagree with them. That's why they want a European army as well as NATO, because NATO already deals with the external defence of Europe. It's NATO that's kept the peace. So why do they need a European army as well as NATO? Because NATO is explicitly forbidden to police the internal affairs of member states. Friends, are we on the brink of the Great Tribulation? Certainly, friends, it's beginning to look more and more like Bible prophecy as the days go by. Let's hope and pray that Britain does manage to escape from the EU superstate before it's too late.